Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this happens to be my review for Lightyear that came out in 2022. So without further ado, let's discuss. Okay, so right off the bat here, I got my notes here that I do take down of the movie, or TV show, depending on what video you're watching. But I did just finish seeing this movie about, I don't know, I got home 30 minutes ago. So, not that long ago, just today. And right off the bat, I had a great time at the theater. There are some things about this movie that are negative that I will touch on here. But overall, from a standpoint of Toy Story, this movie is a great time. See this movie in theaters. I am so annoyed with Pixar right now, before going into this movie, because if you have not seen the movie Turning Red, watch the review out on my channel. I'll try to link a card up there. But that movie should have came out in theaters. This was a pleasant movie to see in the theaters, returning to that Pixar franchise, coming back here. It was 3 years ago that Toy Story 4 came out, and I like that chapter, how they closed it, and this movie is a fresh new take on the character Buzz Lightyear. It opens with probably I was crying when the movie started, right? And that pulls me into this movie already. And I'm kind of droning on here, but I want to talk about the score, as I always do here. Michael Giacchino. This is Michael Giacchino's year for some reason. He just last week he did, well, I saw the movie last week. I mean, he did Jurassic World Dominion, and I've been listening to that nonstop. This soundtrack is amazing. Now, again, this is all subjective here. You know, Jurassic World Dominion I like more than most people, but this movie, Michael Giacchino's score brings a different element to this movie than I think most people would describe. Just the theme song to the Zurg theme, to different emotional beats of the movie, which I'll get to later. But this score just brings something like any movie. But I feel like this is Michael Giacchino's year. He's stepping up his game, especially with this one. I do like his stuff that he does for The Incredibles, and this is no exception as well. I feel like this is high up there, like with like the Ranger music, like he does for The Incredibles, like this spy kind of Mission Impossible stuff. This is definitely something to appreciate. So I definitely enjoyed it. He just ups his game every time. Something I want to touch on here. I just kind of wanted to transition there, and the characters of this movie are great. Buzz Lightyear himself is absolutely the standout because he's the main character. That's the name of the movie. And Chris Evans voicing him just does a great job as a sound-alike for Tim Allen. I mean, I know they couldn't get Tim Allen. Some people were upset, but I feel like that this is a great actor that does the character justice and does it just very well out of the park. Knocks it out of the park. So there's something I want to touch on here, because I don't want to be like, I don't want to like not touch on this, but there's this couple in the movie, right? And they have a kid. They get engaged, right? There's this character Aisha, who is the original Space Ranger with Buzz Lightyear that they open the movie with in this sequence. And throughout the movie, you know, there's this very emotional beat going on, and the story part of the story in the beginning is that it's very emotional. There's this huge sequence where when Buzz Lightyear is traveling through hyperspeed, I'm just kind of like going through the movie already, but there's this couple that gets engaged, and there's two women, and I don't understand. I completely missed if they either took out this kissing scene in the movie or not, because I heard that there was something, a kiss in the movie that people were getting upset about, but I didn't see it. So I thought the characters are absolutely fine. Some people were just like getting mad at the couple, and I'm like, this is fine. And due to the fact that some people are mad at this culture now that they have to incorporate these things into these movies, especially Disney. Look, I don't want to get political here, but I hate that people focus on that, right? Just, it's a movie. Just focus on the movie. But anyway, I'm throwing things out there that I get mad at other people. But I thought the characters of this movie were very enjoyable, and kind of going into the segue there, what I was talking about, the emotional, this movie has heavy impact, right? Now, I don't want to sound biased, because I like this genre. I like the sci-fi elements, and I like Disney, and they do lots of things that are emotional. I just talked about Turning Red. I didn't cry much during that movie, but I relate to a lot of their content in it. And this movie, how I don't really relate to being a pilot, or there's some family elements in Lightyear, but it's not like, oh, I haven't had a kid yet. Now, I mean, in Turning Red, there's a lot of parenting stuff there, but it's more dealt with friendship in that movie. And this movie deals with time very, very well, and I think that lots of people can relate to that, with seeing loved ones go, and just anybody, even friends, and that resonates so much with lots of people, and especially me, because I look at friendship and I look at family, and I haven't really lost a significant loved one, or a crucial loved one, but this movie had a huge, just ongoing beats of love, of being there for each other, right? And I love that aspect of it, and that's just one of my favorite parts of this story in particular, because I always talk about that, about life, like just be aware of the time you have. Stick with the close loved ones or friends, depending on who you have in your life, and be there with the ones around you. So I just want to mention that one of those points of the movie. Number two, I want to kind of transition about the story with the sci-fi elements. I like this movie. Now, I want to be perfectly clear about what movie this is. This is Lightyear, and if they had made any other Pixar film, like a Woody story, or I don't know, an Aliens movie. Now, there weren't aliens there, but Mr. Potato Head, I would have watched any movie, right? But I like how they incorporated different sci-fi elements in this movie specifically, because they could have done anything, but they chose to incorporate like Star Wars, Star Trek, Interstellar, 2001: A Space Odyssey, all these things kind of into one, and like make like this hyperspace sequence and animation, and it looks gorgeous. And I'm just a fan of this Pixar animation with the Lightyear, with like this sci-fi element. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I couldn't get enough of it. I feel like once this movie's on Disney Plus, I don't know when, I'm not begging, but I am going to rewatch it for that reason. And I know some of my, actually one of my friends just is not a big fan of these Pixar, like these modern Pixar things. And I'm like, listen, dude, this is one I've been waiting for a while. Not just because I like Toy Story, which I do, not just because it's Buzz Lightyear, which I like the character, but because they're taking this concept about the origin of Buzz Lightyear and mixing it with this sci-fi elements. Like, if they had done none of that, like if they just said, here's the toy, watch a movie about the toy, and they had done, but they chose to use this sci-fi concept that was really great, really great. And as a sci-fi fan, I liked it. I mean, I like all these franchises, and it wasn't like they had like references like blatantly, obviously, like putting like Star Wars or even Doctor Who. Like, that would have been cool to see, but it was just a neat for a sci-fi fan to see that on the big screen. I know probably those was just a bunch of random thoughts spit out there, but some of you probably can relate to that. I want to mention something about the story that was alright with me, but I understand from hardcore Toy Story fans and hardcore Lightyear fans that were just so angry with this, and it's about the villain. So one of the things in the story is when Buzz is when they're marooned on the planet, and they're marooned, and Buzz Lightyear has to travel through hyperspace. They're trying to get the right crystal ingredients. I guess crystal pieces, I guess, is the better term for that. And when he's traveling through hyperspace, he fails multiple times, and it causes him to, his mission is like 4 minutes long, but it causes the span of time on the planet to go for 4 years. And he only, when he is trying to create this crystal, there's one part of Buzz, not one part. There's a like I lost the word. A version of Buzz that turns out to like backfire the mission and just escapes basically, and then he turns into Zurg. He is that version of Zurg. So you see him meet himself older later, the present version of Buzz, and that then is Zurg the robot, with all the other yellow robots around, which I like the term. I like the villain aspect, right? I like all the way the robots look and all that. But when he finally does, and the turn, and you see him come out of the robot suit, I thought, oh, it's his father. And he actually says in that exact moment, Dad, but it turns out to be the older version of himself, and he explains all of it. I saw one guy actually post something on Instagram that said, the moment kind of reminded me of the Lego Movie 2 when Rex is giving his backstory, and I'm like, that's kind of funny actually, it does remind me of that. But anyway, side note, that was a side note, but I kind of feel bad for the people, because I understand where people are coming from Toy Story 2 when he's like, no, Buzz, I am your father, to the reference of Star Wars when it says, I am your father. And then Buzz Lightyear goes, no. There's some downfall to that, like there's some letdown where it's like, and 20 years ago, they had this whole line of I am your father, and now it's actually not really his father in the origin, so it's kind of weird about that, but I felt like it was okay. I did grow up with the Toy Story movies, but I'm not like mad at it. This was their own story they wanted to tell. Now, yes, it was the origin story. It does feel like a letdown, but I was fine with it. I still got a kick out of the story, what they told, and something else about that. There's this one channel I watched, Sean Chandler. I'm not saying his review's bad. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that one of the things he said is this movie seems like seems like a sequel to what the Lightyear movie would have been. I sort of agree with that, but at the same time, I feel like, look, this is the story that they wanted to tell, and I don't know how they would have changed the movie. Again, I haven't made a movie, and I thought this movie was great. I'm not trying to be biased here. I'm trying to give my own direct thoughts. But if there was, yes, some of the narration, some of the storyline could have been changed. Maybe it could have been done differently. But at the same time, it was this movie that they wanted to tell for how Andy saw the movie, and I thought it was just fine. I loved how, in the beginning, how they had the words of that this is the movie that Andy went to go see. I just loved that. Socks the cat was great, by the way. I forgot to mention, he is a show stealer as well. The crew member is great, by the way. I love how emotional, how just all of it works. I can't get enough of this movie with the crew from all of it. I could talk about this movie, guys. I have been looking forward to this for, again, 3 years. Like, I don't remember how long ago it was. I think after Toy Story 4 that they said, guys, we want to make a Lightyear movie, and they announced this, and I was like, yes, man, give me this movie, like, right now. And they kept announcing it, like, they announced the logo for the movie. They announced the logo, they announced the teaser, and as COVID happened, and I'm like, no. So finally, this movie has happened, and I want to rewatch it. Like, I don't want to go pay money again to see it in theaters, but once this movie hits Disney Plus, I'm all in. Day one, just clicking that remote button, play. But we're not done, because I just got a couple more things. So, post-credit scenes, there are 3 of them, And so, by the way, if there's more stuff you want to know about, drop a comment below, but I don't want to drone on and on. And there's 3 post-credit scenes. Don't miss it, because there's one after, like, it says Lightyear, has, like, the animation credits, kind of like Marvel does. It has, like, the music by the different cast members, and then it has a post-credit scene that's, like, 10 seconds long. So, stay tuned watch that, and then sit through the credits. It's, like, 6 minutes, and then they have one. It's just a nice gag about something that happens in the movie, which I chuckled at. I was like, this is funny. Really? It's still happening? So then, and then be sure to stay to the very end, because I thought the movie was done. Like, it has the Pixar logo and everything, but then after the Pixar logo ends, then there's another little tease that kind of sets up that there's going to be another one. So I'm hopeful. Like, I'm keeping my fingers crossed about it. I would watch another one. Guys, I would watch the second one. People were like, people are kind of like, meh, but I'm a fan. Not just because I'm into Disney, guys, but because I'm into this sci-fi genre, that this is something that I have been looking forward to for a while, and I'm buzzing. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing at my own puns. I am buzzing about this movie, guys. No pun intended. My God, I love what I did there. But my final thoughts are, check this out in theaters. I would actually recommend you guys see this one in theaters. If you have not seen Jurassic World Dominion, go see this first, and if you still want to watch a movie, go watch Jurassic World. But yeah, my final rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10. It was in my opinion, it was that good. I think that kind of sits right where Rotten Tomatoes is at in their rating, but it's an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna leave out 2 spots just for that Zurg crazy logic there. I don't know what was going on with that. But with that said, this was my Lightyear review. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button, and let me know what you thought of the movie. If you have not seen it, I'm sorry, there may have been a little bit of spoilers for you in this video. I apologize. But you clicked on it anyway, so why did you do that? I don't know. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master. Link is down below. And as always, don't forget to watch anything that is popping up on the screen at the moment. Click the card for turning red if you haven't already. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm and play Lego. See you guys in the next review. Peace out. Bye, everyone.